गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. First of all, offer my millions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asmadi Gurupad Padma, Nittila Prashta Jagat Guru Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Tirandi Swami Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj, Nam Nishta Santa Shri Aniruddhas Prabhuji, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please accept my humble obeisances. Reading from Śrī Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛam Canto, Chapter 2, Chapter 2, verse 194. Paramatma Parabrahma Sa Eva Parameshwara Ittevam Esham Aikyena Sajatiya Vidahataha. Param Atma, Super Soul, Parabrahma, Supreme Brahman, Saha, He, Eva, indeed, Parameshwara, Supreme Controller, Iti, thus, Evam, in this way, Esham, there, Aikyena, on account of sameness, Sajatiya, of the same category, Vida, the division, Hata, nullified. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Soul and the Supreme Brahman. In other words, it is the Supreme Lord alone who manifests in various ways due to his different qualities, guna, pastimes, lila, and divine appearances, avatar. The Super Soul, the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Lord are all the one absolute truth. Being of the same category or sajatiya, there is no difference among them. Shri Gopkumar may express a doubt, saying it has been previously stated that the living beings or jivas, being vivinna aṁśas or separated expansions, have the eternal distinction of existing separately from Parabrahman. If this were so, Parabrahman would incur the fault of sajatiya bhed or difference of things belonging to the same category. The jivas and Parabrahma are of the same category because both have the quality of consciousness. Sajatiya bhed would also nullify the Vedic statements describing Parabrahman, such as Ekam Eva Dvitiyam, one without a second. To address this, the personified Bhakti Shastras speak to verses beginning here with Paramatma. They say, not only are the distinctions of Sajatiya belonging to the same family or category and Vijatiya belonging to a separate family or category not found within Parabrahman, but such differences can never exist within the Absolute Truth. The Supreme Absolute Truth alone is the indwelling Super Soul residing in the heart. Paramatma, he is the Supreme Brahman, Parabrahma, and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parameshwara. The different Gunavatars, qualitative incarnations, Lilavatars, pastime incarnations, and many other special forms are also manifestations of the Supreme Lord. One should understand that Sajatiya Bhed, difference in the same category, does not apply to these categories. The Super Soul, the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Person and all his incarnations may appear to be different, but actually they are all non-different. Each of them is full with eternality, cognizance and bliss. By reason of this oneness and because of the non-difference of their being, of their very being, they are all identical despite appearing in a variety of forms. In this first of a two-part response, the personified scriptures refute the charge that there is any distinction, Sajatiya Bhed, between the Supreme Lord and his expansions, or in other words, those who are in the same category as he is. Verse 195. Sada vaijaptam aptanam jivanam api tattvata aṁśatvena bhinnatvad vijatiya vidamruta. Sada, always, vaijatyam, of a different category, aptanam, attained, jivanam, of the minute spirit souls, api, although, tattvata, factually, aṁśatvena, because of having the nature of a part, api, also, abhinnatvat, because of being non-different, vijatiya, due to a difference in category, vida, division, mrita, is refuted. All living beings are always distinctly separate parts within aṁśa of Parabrahman, but in reality they are parts of him. They are also non-different from him. Since the characteristics of the source of all parts are found within its parts, this rules out Vijatiya Bhed, the difference between members of separate categories. Digdarshini Tika. The Bhakti Shastras now establish the non-duality, Advayam, of the Supreme Brahman in this verse beginning with Sada. They say all living beings, being limited, are perpetually in a separate category, Vijatiya, from Parabrahman, who is unbounded. While this separatedness or Vijatiya Bhav is ever existence in the Jivas, factually they are all integral parts or aṁśas of Parabrahman and are therefore non-different from him. The living beings appear different from Parabrahman. They say all living beings, being limited, are perpetually in a separate category, Vijatiya from Parabrahman, who is unbounded. While this separateness or Vijatiya Bhav is ever existent in the Jivas, actually they are all integral parts and aṁśas of Parabrahman and are therefore non-different from him. The living beings appear different from Parabrahman because of Chid Vilas Shakti, the Lord's potency that assists his variegated transcendental pleasure pastimes. But actually they are his parts. The qualities of the source or aṁśī are also shared by the parts or aṁśas. Therefore, from the standpoint of conclusive truth, tattva, both the source and the expansion, aṁśī and aṁśa, are non-different. This then negates the supposition that there is difference between members of separate categories, Vijatiya Bhed. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya vardhanam pavnebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha.